All right, folks, let's start this thing up. All right, for me here. The we'll do this video. Let's go before like educational purposes only. Okay, it's called the Unforgotten Rap Beefs of the 2000s. We go turn on the speaker.
Power on. The Bluetooth device is ready to pair. Radio mode, auxiliary input mode.
See, this here is the Unforgotten Rap Beefs of the 2000s. It started with Royce the 5'9". Yes, Royce the 5'9" versus D12 that was known of Sweat. Bizarre, con artist, Kuniva, and the late Proof. Well, this without the likes of Bugs who got killed I think it was in it was called the Belle Isle Park that was located in Detroit, Michigan. Who was killed. So we'll put this whole video for educational purposes, but it's mixed with the Benzino versus Eminem beef. We'll go through this anyway. Probably nearly 50 minutes or something. I don't know. We'll go do this anyway. But before this fucking thing cuts again.
He said D12. And I said D12. They got worried, but right through it. How can I relate to a group before dude is easily something? Huh? Shit. It's the truth. That's how I feel. You know what I'm saying? Even when I'm not there, I feel like it's hard. Damn, it's Royce. I don't give a fuck. They can beat up with clubs. You know, I won't beat up fucking beat up with Bugs. You said Bugs name of the song. You shouldn't even be worried about us. You should be worried about Bugs. See that? Y'all niggas been through that first. I wear this. I keep this. All this shit. Yo, look. Catch me. Like this, bro. This nigga cash. He shot the fuck up. Come outside. Get hot.
Back in the early 2000s, when Eminem signed with Jimmy Iovine and Dr. Dre, he had a close group of friends still left in Detroit that were trying to break their way to the scene. His friends included Royce the 5'9" and his rap group D12, aka the Dirty Dozen, which included Proof, Bizarre, Con Artis, Kuniva, Swifty McVeigh, and Bugs. But 1 year before Eminem got signed in 1999, D12 member Bugs was shot and killed in a Detroit argument. So whilst Eminem left Detroit and was trying to build his career with G.I.V. and Dr. Dre on his scope, he decided to give Royce the 5'9" a shot and bring him on board.
I started working like on the Chronic album, helping them out or whatever. One of the songs made out was called The Message from the Very Dead Line.
The drama started with Royce the 5'9" manager done an interview with the Source magazine, claiming that Eminem sat Dr. Dre down in the studio.
My manager Kino was quoted in the vibe as saying, "I've seen Eminem sit Dre down like a pupil or something to that nature." Dre read it or heard about it and got pissed. He let me know he was upset. He let me know it wasn't no problem with me. He just upset with my manager for what he said. Nobody said, "That's my nigga. I'm a little nigga. So fuck everybody." It's not about money with me no more, man. Like, that's my motherfucking dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, he ain't my manager, he my man.
Them had his back 100%. Love Royce. Love him to death. Royce was Eminem's hyper man. And nobody said that from him. 12 years, M's boy. What are you talking about? Royce the 5'9" was the first priority to come out. Royce was in the driver's seat.
Them took steps to put us on. So that respect and that love will always be there. But we're our own leader. We eat off our own plate. We're not play play on the interstate. We have our own play.
Eminem asked me, said, yo, Royce, could you finish this tour out with me? You know, I'll let you finish the tour with me, dude. That'd be cool. Royce was like, no, man, I'm talking about my record. Tommy Boy just signed me for this. So he totally took the script.
With things turning sour and Eminem wanting Royce to 5'9" to finish his tour with him. With Royce to 5'9" basically refusing to finish Eminem's tour, Eminem reached out to best friend and D12 rap member Proof, with Eminem then asking Royce would he like to rotate with Proof to make it easier for him.
So Royce said, well, just let Proof do it. I gotta get in the studio and do my album. Em was like, damn, I just got you $1 million deal, basically co-signed for you. You can't even finish this tour out. So once he started fading away from Eminem concentrated more on D12. So actually, I would like to thank Royce for getting D12 by together. And I never forget one that he was salty. Came in the studio, he wanted to record. I said with him, and I was like, yo, D12 deadline, I'm not giving you another day. Royce couldn't understand that. It was like, what? I'm Royce, man.
We all, in fact, embrace Royce, or the fact of them embrace Royce. You being dope is dope for me because you around my mans. That makes you another dope nigga in our play. I told him about everybody. He got the most potential.
When they went on tour, they did a Green Lantern mixtape. I submitted them a freestyle version. For some reason, they listened to the verse and felt like I was listening. Even him.
He comes on before the record even started and says,
Fuck anger management. I need somebody to manage my anger. And he took that as I was saying, fuck the anger management tour.
If you cool with him, if why don't you put something in there that makes the man even think that it's legit? He said, fuck anger management. Anger management is the name of Eminem's tour. Bottom line.
They took my shit off. And it got back to me through somebody else. I'm thinking, why would him think I would do something like that to him of all people? And was supposed to be upset. He said, I'm not talking to Royce, period. I'm calling around cranky. What's wrong with him? Problem. We can solve it. One talk.
Eminem didn't want to talk to him. You know why? It's 2 words. And not to blame him. Fuck anger management.
Boss said, I'm trying to get him to talk to me, not Royce. What the fuck you mean trying to get him to talk to me?
Royce would see our manager in the club and say, man, I don't think the nigga's ready. Yeah, come on. Like, you ain't ready. Tell him he ain't ready. You know, we confront him. He said, no, man, I didn't play your position. It was hard to play your position. But I didn't play your position. None of these will play your position. He let himself out of position. With ego, the ego put him out of position. It's my time to shine. I'm about to get it. I'm about to go. Let's go. Fuck it. How it took me to get here. I'm going to up to get it to my show. That monster, whatever that monster was, is what destroyed you. Please, you blame us. Don't blame us.
Wow. Just 1 second.
What would you say is really rather D12?
he said D12.
I see D12. They got work, but rap whatever.
Huh? Shit.
It's the truth. That's how I feel. You know, then even when I'm not there, I feel like they got.
Damn, this is Royce. It was his voice, no doubt with Royce. So he's like, all right, you know what, man? Enough is enough.
Where's Royce, motherfucker? We don't speak in facts. We don't act like we don't not say this.
Yeah, I think I go start doing ads. Hold on, man. I'm trying to get to the hang of this shit. Hold on. Fucking assholes here too. Can't get Russian shit. Fuckers are doing Russian shit. Oh, fuck yeah, Russian. Hey, that's my dick, man. Get to the fucking video, man. One of their buddies for Black Hustle. Shit. What's that pussy shit, man?
There are 2 certainties in life, death and taxes. For now, Tax Act's filing software can
Wow. The next.
From the moment I walked in the door, it's always been empty to us. Asking him, what is he doing here? What you helping him for? And it just hit the fan. They finally decided to pick their balls up and eyes off.
Next day, my man got on the radio and was talking shit. running his mouth, said he'd smack my ugly wife.
Smack your ugly wife.
Said he'd smack Swift.
Swift, y'all slack.
Smack his ass. Black me into it. They say he smacked everybody. While we still giving each other plays and shit, like, what up, though, man? Yeah, this and that. Yeah, this goes already.
But nigga, how can I relate to a group of four dudes easily replaced? Niggas when they talk backwards, what I call and have to write you off on his tax.
What makes a great diss track is you saying anything about the person that the world can relate to. It's like me calling Bizarre fat, saying you got a shower cap. I mean, the whole world knows he's fat. He wears a fucking shower cap.
Share for the rap, a ref to the big fat man, you gotta jump in the can for the rap. Maybe this might play doing it right. You call yourself an idiot, I'm proving you right.
They must have worked with fellas. They got all that shit.
Royce released 2 diss tracks towards D12. One was titled Shit on You, and the next one was Malcolm X, where he called out every D12 member by name, with one line in particular crossed the boundary. In Malcolm X, Royce brought up the original D12 member who had been killed in 1999. But then Bugs wasn't just a fallen friend, he was family. After that, it wasn't about rap or skills or respect. It was about defending Bugs' memory. Proof had been like a little brother to Bugs, so he took that line as a direct shot at that fallen friend. And from that moment, it was all out war.
If the Bugs line took it to the next level.
Hell yeah! That's what we love. No, man. Next question. He said, Bugs name in the song. He shouldn't even be worried about us. He should be worried about Bugs, people.
And I'm going to the lunch tonight. So whoever decided to get cute, come see me tonight. No, tonight. That ain't just D12. Now anybody know. Tonight. Tonight. I talk to Tom. We gonna beat people up with one arm. So tonight. Trey Lewis in the house. Tonight. I'm in the building.
Tonight. Hey, we on the radio this jockey. Female radio this jockey. Tonight. I'm you should be doing like.
So, you got hands, and I ain't gonna suck you right now with your hands. I'm sober as a butt. That means whoever fight me don't feel like they fight Roy Jones.
He said he's bossing like Roy Jones. He was there in 5 minutes. Everybody was there. Eminem was there. We showed up. He wasn't there. Some of his people was there.
That night, I get a call. D12 just jumped in front. One of my niggas. D12 just jumped in at the club, and I was on my way to.
So what happened? So what happened?
You got smashed right? Their shoes on the block right now. It's like 30 niggas. They jump on one person. You know what I'm saying? He get up and drive home. And then he goes to the hospital. And that's how Malcolm X came.
Royce 5'9" would like to apologize to the family of my homeboy Bugs for letting that line leak out the radio. It's a long story how it happened. 12, dog, y'all better quit acting like that was my man too. Like I was trying to disrespect him or something. I was trying to disrespect y'all. That's what I'm doing from here on in. What's that true? I gotta snatch about the game. You must have smacked the same my name. I hope you and the white boy keep in touch and be a good little hype man or your lease is up. I don't see your teeth this much. It's good. She's got a trail like a fucking truck. Man, you can run high. I'll be on your porch with a cheeseburger trying to lure you outside. Shit, now it's 50, please. Give it again. Both of y'all be breaking 50s, please.
He don't even know my name, but I can show his note. He told me at the club when he was scared his Swift was gonna come and smack him. But he told me to come to his crib and come play Madden. Come down the street and play Madden with me. Come kick it with me. See how real I am. He's a whole ass nigga, dog. For real. That's what I meant. You don't invite a nigga you don't even know your crib to play Madden? Address Eminem. Eminem totally getting the whole situation. He was like, oh, that's fucked up. But he had so much love for Royce that he didn't even get involved. I mean, he got involved. Like, I ain't talking to him, but he didn't get involved in his lyrics.
Royce the 5'9" threatens to side with Ja Rule and Benzino and sign with the Ring, the label that were enemies of the Shade Count.
He said he was on the front of the game.
Sorry, they don't even know.
Y'all really want to play right under your nose.
Royce the 5'9" is a whole ass nigga. That's number 4. That's number 2. Why he's a whole ass nigga? Because the next week, he saw my man Swift in the studio. He had 5 niggas with him. Shit. He walked up to me like this. So what's up? I just shake his hand. I said, you said you was gonna smack me. You said you was gonna smack my dog. Why?
It ain't nothing to talk. You talking about bugs. It ain't nothing to talk about. What's up? Come outside. Get popped. All your niggas. And walk away.
I wear this. I keep this. Now I don't just go anywhere. I don't hang out. I don't go to club.
We still at every club, everywhere we want to fucking go, anything we want to do.
I don't hang out with my enemies. Hang out with my enemies. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So anything I do from this point on in my life will be
See that? Y'all niggas can do that first. Y'all niggas just talk.
All started off with my diss strikes. Turned into some street shit.
I mean, that shit for real. They dump a man at the lunch. They dump a man at the lunch. What the fuck do we got to talk about? It ain't nothing to talk about.
If you gonna do something too, why you gonna videotape what's good? That makes no motherfucking shit. Any real nigga gonna see that.
One of Royce's boys got caught slipping and got shot.
This nigga Cash get shot the fuck up. My nigga learned from bullets. They take his medicine that day.
But I got a little advice for you. If you're gonna send somebody to do something, make sure the motherfucker you need. If when you niggas who send the niggas who not capable of getting the job done, you're gonna feel like a dumbass when you at a dumbass funeral. You gotta look at his mouth. Alright? That's all I got to say about that.
By late 2003, fury spilled out of the music. Royce and Proof crossed paths outside the Detroit nightclub.
I ran into a little incident where me and Bruce finally seen each other.
How voices were raised 70 led and both men ended up pulling guns.
That shit I really got on some other shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, supposed to be hits in the streets, and some people get shot, people get beat up and robbed.
Me and Bruce had actually walked away from the crowd, away from where all the melee was. We walked away like person to person.
The police arrived quickly, arrested them
Both
both.
patted us down and we both had our guns on us. You know what I'm saying? So we both caught gun cases.
That man got a felony, I got a felony.
Locking them in jail cells right next to
Yeah,
each
we
other.
have a drink this
That
time.
night
So
changed
let's go
everything.
to drink. Put
Away from the
folks.
cameras and the crews, they finally talked.
Bruce basically was like, yo, I felt like you shouldn't have mentioned my name on such and such song. I was like, okay, I felt like you did such and such. It was basically us getting all our thoughts out in the open.
Almost like we got a listen for the shootouts.
Never ever said.
I've said things in the past about them that I shouldn't have said, and I've admit them. You know what I'm saying? Just like they've done things to me that they shouldn't have done.
Let's go. They got his back on the day. Get it was all somebody like that. You know what I'm saying? Or do something stupid. Why can't we stop the shit? Stop the shit. You know what I'm saying?
If I talk to Bruce and I say, yo, look, we sparred for this, that means I'm sparred for this.
We're going to time I get to the neighborhood.
I'm not gonna hold that against you. Hopefully you don't hold that to that. From this side, they have to bring your man get beat up or whatever, hold it against me. You know what I'm saying? When we let it go, we let it go.
It's a mutual respect. You know what I'm saying? I know they respect me. It's because of like the shit that I do lyrically. I know they respect me. And I respect them. You know what I'm saying? It's like the respect has always been there.
I can respect Royce. You know what I'm saying? I can talk. Fighting your publisher. No, those my kids will fight. But you know what I'm saying? That's why I look at that.
From the streets of Detroit came six brothers bound by music and pain. They rose together, fell apart, and found their way back through loyalty. Their legacy became bigger than any feud. The street war between D12 and Royce and 5'9" showed how pride can divide, but forgiveness brought them back together. They went on to perform shows, record tracks, and rebuild the bond they once lost. When Royce and Eminem shared that stage again, it felt like the city itself had finally found peace.
That's something that's going to shake up the entire foundation of the hip hop media, folks. So let me tell you about the war that shook up the hip hop media. This one here is the Royce the 5'9" D12 beat. That's right. The other one right here, my personal favorite right here. Beat between Benzino, whose real name was Raymond Scott, and Eminem, whose real name is Marshall Mathers the third. Marshall Mathers the third. That's Eminem's real name. Eminem's been rapping since the early 1990s, but this is before that tape that ever got released. 92, 93. I think Benzino must have found the that racist tape. See it for it. I'll show it to you so you can see it for yourself in one now. I'm gonna watch this one. We'll smoke this blunt.
Okay, can someone really ever really challenge the source? People have tried and people haven't really succeeded. And I was like, my strategy was going to be, I'm going, if that's who it is, we have to be held accountable for that. If you guys bring the source back to this, the cracker thing be that, not that. You don't see me in the source magazine, it's going to be a picture. They're going to draw funny pictures, they'll get shit. Because I ain't never going to be in that publication ever.
The second time he did it, I said, you know what? I'm gonna let him have it.
It's over hip hop. Like hip hop is who we are. He can't come in and invade hip hop in Rosenberg and make trillions of dollars.
Somebody said, "Oh, your ass."
You get too much, nigga. You get too much.
Eminem, one of the biggest rap superstars of the early 2000s, found himself locked in an unexpected war with Raymond Benzino Scott, a veteran MC and co-owner of the Source magazine. Their bitter feud would spill from diss tracks to magazine pages, shaking the world of hip-hop.
Electrical recording artist, co-owner of Source magazine, Eminem slave. This battle between me and Eminem is really a situation where the hood selling original. It's double standard. Now, how certain media, shoots hip hop and Eminem as propaganda. To, in my opinion, to make the hood not sell no more records.
The commercialization of it is good. It's created more, economic opportunities, created more jobs, more wealth. But now, we also have to take a look at where that wealth is going right now.
It's a double standard, meaning, we can't make the same. We gotta hear our songs towards arguing and more lighter side of it. We can't speak our pain. We can't express our pain. We can't express our music without pain. I think they're letting Eminem be free to do the music that he wants to do, while at the same time we're not.
A freestyle.
I hope to God he was freestyling, because if he wrote that, I really feel bad.
I mean, did something happen to spark that between you and him?
Andy, I swear on my daughter's life, I never met this dude. I never met this man, this girl. She is obsessed with me.
The Benzino thing, that's post. And all that, because all that, hollering, saying, oh, he's white, he's stealing black culture, I'm black as a motherfucker. And I love it.
Here it comes.
In 1988, two college friends at Harvard, David Mays and Jonathan John Schechter, started a hip-hop newsletter with $500 and a Macintosh computer.
In the building I was living, in my dorm room, one day I'm coming back in from class and I hear some rap music coming out of one of the rooms, and I'm like, oh man, I wonder who's listening to rap music, because it wasn't too many people there. And so I knocked on the door and introduced myself, and that was John Schechter. And John was a kid from Philly who grew up loving hip hop.
Let's go back to 1988, which was, I believe, the most
That's
important
80s.
year for hip hop. Not because we started the Source, but music was
Shaky Green,
that was
bro.
when it was
Can't
really
say anything about Shaky Green.
creativity. And there was a need for
Dave Mason's
something
business partner,
that treated
boy.
music seriously. And when I say serious, I don't mean like you can't have a good time. What I mean is a journal that actually addressed hip hop music as a real art form and all the things that went along with it.
Dave Mays had a close friend from Boston known as Raymond Benzino Scott.
Drinking and smoking, folks.
Called the Almighty RSO. Dave Mays became the manager of RSO.
I started, from nothing. I had $250 newsletter out here, and I stayed with it. And I was, lucky enough, fortunate enough, right timing for it to work
In
out.
1988, they published the very first issue of The Source, and within just a few years, it wasn't just a magazine anymore, it was the Bible of hip-hop. It got to the point where they were hosting the legendary Source Awards, where the biggest moments and rivalries in hip-hop took center stage. It truly became a cultural institution.
It's kind of hard to delineate between where your journalism ends and where entertainment begins, because they've been so influential in their ability to determine different things. It's been an issue.
In 1994, The Source hit its first major internal collapse. Dave Mays approved and inserted a feature on his friend Benzino's group, Almighty RSO, without consulting the
Benzino's
editorial
group.
team. As a result, co-founder John Schechter walked away, along with several key
He
members of
quit
the
too.
original
James
editorial
Bernard quit too. Shecky Green quit. Jimmy Bernard quit too. Oh boy. Someone Hines had quit too. He gone.
With the loss of staff, The Source magazine was bringing in new people to edit the magazine.
When I got the opportunity to go over, the first thing I did was just talk
Someone
to
Hines had quit too.
you who were older than me and say,
I guess because of Benzino arguing with him.
The take or the perception of the take around this place so drastic that I shouldn't mess with it.
Around the same time, Dave Mays was producing Almighty RSO's album, and the article he had written in The Source magazine was openly positive and clearly biased towards RSO. Because Mays and Benzino were close friends, the piece crossed the line for the editorial team. With the changeover of the staff in 1994, Selwyn Hines became editor-in-chief in 1997 and brought in Elliot Wilson as music editor.
He quit. Elliot Wilson had quit too.
I was like, I want to be part of that. I used to read The Source.
Now he's working for the Royce Ellis, the editor-in-chief.
He was a music editor, and he had a column in the back of the book with reviews. He had like a ski hat on and glasses, and I was like, I want to be that guy. So I got to live out my career training, which was to be Reggie Dennis, to be the older.
No, see me with no ski hat and fucking sunglasses.
Powerful forces in hip hop. Albums were graded from 1 to 5 mics, and a rare 5 mic rating was treated like a classic stamp of approval. A high score could launch careers and boost sales, while low ratings could stall momentum. But as time went on, many artists began questioning the ratings, believing personal relationships and politics were starting to influence what was supposed to be an objective system.
Source magazine played a huge part of the hip hop game, but I never respected the 5 mics. And I ain't disrespecting Dave Mays' Source magazine. Y'all paved the way.
Of course, you're not respecting the 5 mics. Joseph Cartagena.
Who judges your?
There's not one set way it's done. When I took over, I was told that you have to put together a mic committee, which is me and a bunch of editors. I get the new album. I have to make copies for everybody, and then we're supposed to have a meeting and hammer out.
You're supposed to. That's your job, Elliot. You're supposed to do your shit. That's your job, Elliot.
And usually maybe one record per month they wanted to think they would think maybe just to get a little bit higher. But we have little like non-structured meetings or conversations, and sometimes I would give in, sometimes I would get my way. It was pretty much not a problem, even with Dave.
Source magazine changed in 1998 when Corrupt released his double album Corruption, which featured the track 5 mics.
He has a song on the album called 5 Mics, which is the highest rating you can get in Source magazine. So the hook was like 5 mics dedicated to the Source. And then Dave all of a sudden comes in the office and he's adding on to it. And I was like, yo, you heard this, Dave? Come to find out, like, Dave's voice had produced it. Dave wasn't going to say, you know what, you have to do this, He would try to hide under the guise of journalism. He had a vested interest, but he wouldn't. It was like wink, wink. He wouldn't say to you, it's my magazine, you got to do it that way. He tried to convince me that the thing deserved it. I want to give Corrupt 3 mics. Dave wanted to give him 4.
With Corrupt, he was involved with Corrupt's career at that time in whatever capacity. So I remember we had a listening session where Corrupt came to present us the album, which a lot of artists do, right? So he's playing this album. And it sounds pretty good and we're walking along. And then all of a sudden he plays a record called 5 Mics. Yeah. And then the song, look, he's like, 5 mics dedicated to the Source. 5 mics dedicated to the Source.
And I see Dave nod his head. I was like, oh, I know what this is. Okay, then it's gonna be a problem.
Issue comes out, and I see the price of the change. So I'm living, and then someone goes, "Oh, he didn't call you." I'm like, "No, he didn't call me."
I understand why it took it to.
Someone Hines is walking away because of Benzino, man.
When Elliot Wilson later left the source, it marked another crack in the magazine's foundation. By that
Someone
point,
Hines is
Benzino
gone
was part of
too.
the group made men.
John Schechter, who had to be, and Shaky Green, and they had James Bernard leaving too. They're gone.
Huffy was on the cover of that issue.
4 Day Mason's guys are gone too. Shit, they're gone.
Dave Mays pushing for a meeting to question why his group had been sidelined. Another example of how blurred boundaries continue to cause internal tension at the magazine.
They tried to down.
With Selwyn Hines and Benzino.
He wants to talk about relating to the magazine and how he even was treated in the magazine. Not a big deal,
Someone and Ray does not get along, bro.
You're my boss. If you tell me that,
Selwyn and Ray did not get along, bro. They hate each other's guts. That's what makes Selwyn want to leave the Source magazine. Of course, of an argument that he had with Ray. He argued with Ray. Selwyn started arguing with Ray. All this over a copy of the Source magazine with Diddy on the cover of it.
So then Ray begins this incredible tirade about why, their name is so small, everybody else's name is so big. And I'm beginning to have a logical conversation, but even then I'm like, why am I saying this? I'm gonna actually learn how to do source coverage from this guy right here, Dave Mays. It's one of the good things I got from Dave. Dave showed me how to, they make a couple stuff and you put the big popular people big and the not so popular people smaller. It was a thing that got Raymond angrier and angrier and angrier.
Ray got mad at Selwyn. Look, Ray go slam the magazine down. Bam, cuz. Ray did this someone like this. Ray did this someone like this.
Not long after that conference meeting, Selwyn Hines resigned. On 1 month later, Benzino's Made Man album got 4.5 mics.
Along with Bernard, Schechter, and Wilson. They're gone, bro.
Eventually, Elliot Wilson left the Source and went on to help build Double XL magazine, which was only a small up-and-coming magazine at the time. Benzino had become an editor at the Source and was increasingly using the magazine as a platform to benefit himself. He gave his own music unusually high ratings and pushed his
Who's afraid of short nights? They only had a magazine.
Probably brings a lot of good things to the Source. There's always going to be someone that says they're biased because of the situation.
You want them to back down and step back for one? That's just like saying a rapper should own a clothing line or a rapper should own a television.
Duh.
That's him in his hustle.
Shit, if I own the magazine, why should be in there every month too? Shit. It's like if they want, niggas that had jokes about that. Like this nigga owned the magazine and can't get a half that big. Nigga get
At the same time, Benzino used the magazine as a platform to take indirect shots at Eminem.
It's still 40,000. Put his outlets in these 3 issues of Source magazine. That's $3.99. $3.99, 3,000. We do that on that. That's about $12 minus 15 cents. I sell the band the number good. For $4, you can only get 14,000 people to buy that. Oh, no, it's not hard. You have to try to get out of this stuff for 3,000. Somebody should bury your ass.
Behind the scenes, the magazine's leading into a narrative that Eminem was overhyped and commercially favored, which many believe reflected Benzino's personal bias rather than an honest critique.
The Source magazine doesn't have to be, but we're in a business and it's competitive. Business is competitive. Business is full of sharks out there. So you gotta be competitive basically if you want to succeed in business. So, but I don't consider it.
While Benzino was using the Source to give himself
he was sick, cuz.
5 mics to his own projects. The ex-editor Elliot Wilson, who was now over at Double XL, was watching things unfold.
Did someone really ever challenge the Source? People have tried, and people haven't really succeeded. And I was like, my strategy was going to be, I'm going right for it.
So he started firing back in Double XL's pages, taking aim at the source's credibility and making things personal.
Every editorial, I was really like taking a lot of low blows. I was doing it creatively, satire-wise, but you know, it was very personal. And you know,
this ain't no weed, folks. It's a black and mild blunt.
Benzino sent shots to Eminem.
See?
Call your girl.
Scores looking crazy. Niggas on my
See?
phone, slim shades.
When Benzino
See
was
this?
asked why he put his name on the track, Benzino's reply was interesting.
Oh man, Marshall. I'm saying it ain't really like I was going at Marshall, you know what I'm saying, personally. I was pretty much attacking the machine. You know, Marshall's just the hood on it. And it's a situation where I think that, you know, we just gotta be conscious of what's going on at the double standard, you know, in hip hop.
You know what I'm saying? And as far as like my contribution to hip hop, they're calling me a culture stealer and an invader and all that stuff. As far as my contribution to hip hop, what was my contribution to hip hop any different than Dave Mays and Jonathan Schechter when they started the store 12, 13 years ago? Was to make hip hop bigger and expand it.
Benzino followed it up with a second disc, Die Another Day, doubling down on the attack, accusing him of being a culture vulture, which many disagree with.
I think Eminem sells records because he's talented. Because there's been many white rappers before him that didn't sell 8 million records because they didn't have the talent. Everybody's pinpointing him because he's better than everybody. And now motherfuckers is like, oh, it's because he's white. It's because he's white. He's selling all these records. That's not true. But you look at Dre. Dre sold 6 million records.
Yeah, man.
Snoop sold 7 million records.
Oh, Snoop does.
Well, he wasn't white. He was black. This dude just happened to be talented.
Yeah, like that was the only nigga that sell. That's the niggas sell it. Nah, that's all. Keep walking. Okay, that's the a lot of niggas sell. You know, niggas beat right now. What's the matter? It felt like to me, you trying to start a fucking revolution. Like, yo, fuck the white people. Black people selling records. We not selling records. Nigga, that's what this shit.
And the average consumer is gonna go buy what they want to buy. If they like Benzino's album enough, they like Eminem's album enough, they gonna buy both albums. If they gotta choose between one of the two, if they feel like Eminem's is better, whether he's black or white, they gonna buy it. He's not taking food out of nobody's mouth. You know, me and him ain't on the best terms right now. I gotta defend him in that right because he worked too fucking hard for somebody just trying to take that away from him. He's been through too much just being white.
All he just missing is the black on his face. Eminem is black too. He's black and white. He know how to deal with the motherfucker going here and over there. Hey, I'm so shit. I wasn't giving a fuck. You let me get some white on you selling. I wasn't giving a fuck. I ain't selling no units in the hood no more. Fuck this thing. Well, I ain't selling no units in the hood.
You pick one person. I got a person not personalized. If you just talking about me, you just talking about me.
He dissed me on the record. I didn't respond. Then he dissed me again. He went back in the studio again. I think he was mad that I didn't respond. Not that it didn't hit my radar, because it's the own half of the Source magazine. The second time he did it, I said, you know what? I'm gonna let him have it. So I gave it to him. 2 songs. 2 songs to his 2 songs.
Jesus Christ, you did that much for gangsta. Put them right down. You should be out killing motherfuckers right now.
Don't blame me. Don't blame me. This stuff. This dude, Angie, I think could very well, after hearing his last record, I truly believe, and I'm not even exaggerating, this dude could possibly be the worst rapper in the world. Anything he does from now on, from the grave, I buried him. I put the nail in the coffin. I threw the dirt on top of his grave. I don't even think I put him in the coffin. I think I just buried him in a hole and threw the dirt on his grave.
As their feud with Benzino escalated, the Source was sending shots to all of their rivals. Eminem and 50 Cent publicly sided with Double XL. 50 and Eminem boosted the sales of the magazine, eventually outselling the Source and becoming the dominant voice in hip-hop media.
Should you guys read the Source magazine? You ever see me in Source magazine? It's gonna be a picture. They're gonna draw funny pictures of me and shit. Because I ain't never gonna be in that publication ever.
Then, in a special edition of Double XL, they featured 50 Cent as an editor.
And then we ran associated to Benzino, who took off his son. You know, In retrospect, it probably is a little fun.
Benzino wasn't happy and decided to confront Elliot Wilson face to
While
face.
he walked us back, I already was headed towards the front to see what it was. So we go towards the corridor, like we face up, and I'm like, yo, Ray, what's up? Blah, blah. I touch him, what's up? Don't touch me, don't touch me. And somehow he wants to fuck me up, kill me, but fuck me up, but it's kind of a blur. Why am I being the bully? And I keep bringing it to him, keep bringing it to him, keep bringing it to Dave. Why you like backing me into a corner, ultimately? Why I gotta fucking do something? He's basically letting me know that in some ways he's justified in his mind because of what I did, and then doing the kid thing is too far. Which is, some of the argument. Rap is very sensitive when it comes to children and kids. And even though it's 50 Cent idea, I'm responsible for it. It's my magazine.
Yeah, we don't want any beef, but I think we're split that in any other business, you would never have an editor come up and get your fans.
I don't get Mr. Coke that.
Yeah, I don't know that. The chairman of Pepsi has rolled up, to the chairman of Coke and pulled him out like that. So yes, it's hip hop. When I first started XXL, anybody I've ever worked with is always, welcome to hip hop. It seems to be an excuse for everything, but I think that was a real low point.
Him coming up there he felt I was crossing the line because I was coming at him as an individual. It is what it is. I'm not going to apologize, but it does change the way I'm doing things now going forward. Because if I personally attack them, I'm giving them an excuse to do something extreme, and I'm not going to take that bait. I'm not going to do that because I'm not trying to out-thug them. I'm trying to outsell them.
On November 2003, Benzino, David Mason, and Source magazine got their hands on an unreleased racist Eminem demo tape and set up a conference meeting, but not with fans of the music, with the national press.
Say that what's on this tape, the tape that 3 white kids from Detroit walked into Dave's office. Brought said, listen, this is the real Eminem and we're tired of it. We got to make this the same way that you guys have treated Mike Tyson. You guys are treating Kobe Bryant. You guys have treated R. Kelly, O.J. Simpson. You can hear the music now.
I'll get straight to the point. Black girls are bitches. That's why I'm attacking you. Better pull up your britches. Cause all that can just making your ass drag. From the point where you get. And that's pretty bad.
I can't think of a more, important, pivotal moment in our history, and the Source's history, our personal history, than right here tonight.
Black girls and white girls just don't mix because black girls are good and white girls are good shit. White girls are good. I like white girls.
Black women are bad, white women are good. I don't care if he's redeemed himself now. That's not the message. And if that's who he is, then he has to be held accountable for that. I want to see what he's going to say now. The ball's in his court now.
Eminem has never denied the existence of the early demo tapes and claimed it was recorded out of stupidity after splitting up with his African-American girlfriend.
The song was cut off and edited. The song was freestyle. They were naming all type of races like white girl. What you think about a white girl? Black girl? Black girl, basically. But the Source just edited the black girl part and made it like it was racist. So that was good.
Years went by, the Source lost credibility. Writers like Elliot Wilson helped build what led himself into a new voice of hip hop, one that embraced Eminem instead of trying to erase him. The culture followed. The Source slowly lost its influence.
We all would like to live, and how wildlife plays out is how it plays out. It makes no sense to go back, especially that long, and start talking with regrets. Woulda, shoulda, coulda, you know what I'm saying? Because what happened. It was a time and place.
Eminem's name never came out of his mouth. It has always been spoke about in interviews through the years.
Hey, fuck Eminem. I busted Eminem. Rap Elvis, bitch. They trying to kill me right now, bro, because of shit I'm saying, because it's deep, bro. Let me tell you, his fans like him because he's white. They don't fuck with us.
Okay, and as far as like my contribution to hip hop, they're calling me a culture stealer and an invader and all that stuff. As far as my contribution to hip hop, what was my contribution to hip hop any different than Dave Mays and Jonathan Schechter when they started the store 12, 13 years ago? Was to make hip hop bigger and expand it. If I can take hip hop and open more white people's ears to hip hop, so that artists like Nelly and Ja Rule and Jay-Z and Cameron and Ludacris and Nas can sell more records, then that's my contribution to hip hop. You know what I'm saying? I'm only after this interview, and he can scream, he can jump up and down, he can scream all he wants, he can go in the studio, make 100,000 more records about me, and base his whole life around mine. I will not make another song about this man.
I don't hate him, but I don't know him to hate him. I don't hate white people. Tired of this shit, man. It's just too much. I don't want to be the bad guy. Got an 8-year-old son that I dropped off at school this morning. Come on, man. Come on, man. I'm all right. I don't want my DMs filled with. I had 9 pages knocked out of me. White people think I love all people. Come on, man. All me and Eminem gotta do is sit down and talk with each other. Let's sit down and talk. Let's battle. Let's do whatever. But let's at least face to face meet each other.
If that was to happen, would you give him a 5?
Fuck, man. I'd hug him.
Well, this is like heartbreaking thing to watch. So, see the video. It was so heartbreaking and 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 hurtful to watch. Even though the beefs are just became more known, that this will cause a lot of problems. It'll cause violence in the streets and cause families to get killed, loved ones, all the above. People would have died. It's about things. That's the thing is we have to go put a stop to all the violence that just you know that kind of affected the communities. You see, throughout the 90s and the 2000s, you know what I'm saying, there was homicides that the Orleans Police Department had to find a way to solve, the cases that they had to solve periodically, based on all the other cases that happened with the Margaret Stevenson case, which they had to be forgetting about, talking about the murders, like my father's murder that they probably end up forgetting about. You talk about the Anthony Coleman murder, my uncle's murder, that they probably had to be forgetting about, you know, which they end up failing to solve. The other murders that the NOPD's track that failed to solve was the murders of Anthony Alexander, Joseph Lavan III, and Hassan Shaw. So they had to go. They probably failed to solve those cases. They could have just solved those cases if they had to. They would have made them cases cold just like that. You know what I mean? There's 5 or 6 cases that already been turned cold. It was my cousin Margaret Stevenson's murder. Uh, my father James Shaw Jr.'s murder. My uncle Anthony Coleman's murder. Things like that. They could have solved the murders of my cousins Anthony Alexander, Joseph Laban, and Hassan Shaw periodically. They could have solved those cases periodically, 4, 5, 6 cases. You know what I'm saying? They could have solved it the way they're supposed to solve it. But they let them cases get shelved. That's what happened when a lot of murders happen. See, it goes back to around 1993. See, New Orleans Police Department, they're trying to lower down and trickle down the criminal rate, the crime rate. Throughout 1993 1994, they're trying to lower down. They try to lower down the criminal rate, the crime rates, the homicidal rates that they're ready to solve, and they're ready to try and find uh, a solution to solve it. But they have to go think of what they're trying to do, and that's what's led to other things that's going on with all the corruption that's been going on. That's why I watched the FBI files. That's based on this episode. Is called Shattered. It's called Shattered Shield. So I learned from this episode that it gave me pride. It gave me hope. Maybe you guys like this video about these unforgotten rap beefs right there. So regarding with Royce the 5'9" versus D12 and Benzino versus Eminem. Like this video of me watching these two videos regarding these rap beefs. Hit the like button before you're gonna have to drop a comment below if you see this video. Okay, it's 11:06. I got another video that I had to do. It's regarding a veteran actor who was known for his roles in The Thing and Punky Brewster. His name is Thomas Kent Carter. Okay. But I'm gonna get to I'm gonna do another video. Catch up with y'all again. Okay. Get back with y'all while I'm live again, like I did now.